in this barbecue chicken, bro. You think he can be a second option on a championship team?
Man, just dropped 50.
I hear you guys, but that's with a lot of usage. Is he as good as J-Dub?
I think he can be if he got the minutes like J-Dub.
I think J-Dub's better than him.
You don't think he could be a second guy?
As a championship team, I don't think so.
How much is AR average as the number 2 option without LeBron?
So, in the 8 games that Austin Reeves has played without LeBron James this season, Gil, you're 28.6,
Like
8.4 assists, 6.8.
Like y'all fucking said.
I didn't even know, and I said,
Damn. And remember when LeBron was out, he had 40.
The Lakers eked out a 110-101 win over the Pelicans. And yes, it was their 3rd straight W, but the scoreboard was the least interesting thing about the night. You don't get headlines like Austin Reeves is in hell from an easy road win. You get them from a season-long narrative finally boiling over. How LeBron James, Luka Dončić, and Austin Reeves share the floor, and who is forced to sacrifice when they do. The win looked tidy on paper, but the real stat line the internet is arguing about isn't points or rebounds, it's usage, fit, and fairness. Let's unpack the whole mess, because the Lakers may have a winning streak, but they also have a chemistry problem that's getting louder by the week.
Does he need to move on? Because he gets the basketball, like he shows what he can do, right?
Who needs to move on?
Austin Reeves. Does he need to go to another team? Because when LeBron returns and Luka returns, you're not going to have the basketball like that.
Before tip-off, JJ Redick did what coaches do. He framed the problem bluntly. He said the bigger challenge is when LeBron, Luka, and Austin are all out there together because they all want the basketball and someone has to sacrifice. Translation, roles shrink, touches disappear for the glue guys, and somebody's stat line is going to crater. That's not coaching hot take. That's a roadmap to what we watched in the first half of the Pelicans game, when Reeves opened 0 for 6 and scored just 2 points before intermission. It's also the reason the bench, not the big 3, ended up being the decisive difference in that matchup. Redick's pregame gloss wasn't dramatic. It was a warning label. Here's the part nobody is talking about. The raw numbers when LeBron is off the floor versus when he's on it tell a very uncomfortable story for the Lakers hierarchy. In games this season, when Austin Reeves has played without LeBron, he's been sensational. StatMuse shows Reeves averaging roughly 29 points, 8.2 assists, and nearly 5 rebounds in that sample. Those are not benchmate numbers. Those scream franchise-level production. Put LeBron back in the lineup with Reeves, and those averages dip, a meaningful, measurable fall-off. That gap isn't just trivia for stat geeks, it's the evidence of how lineup construction and usage decisions are reshaping Austin's game, and it's the reason fans are yelling that the team's configuration is hurting its second-best player.
He's right.
But I don't think he'll have the ball that much anymore.
The fact that I said Derek White is better than Austin Reeves is, y'all for real?
He's a two-way player.
Dead ass for real.
He is a two-way player.
That's what I said.
He's better than him on the defense.
How many points he had last year with that big game when all them guys set out?
This is where it gets dangerous for the Lakers. The narrative isn't only about who shoots more or scores more when everyone sits together. It's about who makes the team better or worse. On and off and net rating splits are blunt instruments, but they bite. Public stat models right now show a startling delta. The Lakers' net rating is significantly better without LeBron on the floor, and that swing is what has analysts whispering that, paradoxically, a $53 million per year LeBron can be a negative on a per 100 possession basis for this roster configuration. In other words, the team shows better offensive and defensive outcomes when LeBron sits, which, for a franchise trying to maximize wins, is the kind of finding that makes general managers twitch. That's not an indictment of legacy. It's a practical, unglamorous arithmetic problem that the front office must solve. If you watched last night, the box score doesn't lie. Reeves finished with 15 and 8 rebounds in the win, and he hit clutch looks down the stretch, including a go-ahead 3 late in the 4th, the kind of shot that reminds you why the guy's minutes matter. But the half-game reality remains stark. He shot 0 for 6 in the first half, a microcosm of the season's broader trend, where his shot attempts and assist opportunities dip when LeBron is orchestrating. That's not because Reeves disappears, it's because the offense's choreography changes. LeBron's presence alters spacing, defenders' attention, and who is allowed to be the ball handler for critical possessions. The result, Austin's counting stats look fine in aggregate, but the sample that matters to a contender, how he performs in sustained lineups against tougher competition and in playoff-like moments with the three of them sharing the floor, shows regression.
He's right.
But I don't think he'll have the ball that much anymore.
Yeah, the fact that I said Derek White is better than Austin Reeves, y'all for real?
He's a two-way player.
I did ass for real.
He is a two-way player.
That's what I said.
He's better than him on the defense.
How many points he had last year with that big game when all them guys set out?
Here's the part nobody is talking about: salary math and incentives. LeBron's $53 million contract this season is impossible to ignore in these conversations, not ethically, but economically. Teams balance production and payroll. Respectfully, finances affect decisions on who to lean into for the next multi-year plan. Austin Reeves is on a contract under $15 million this year and is in line for a massive payday if he keeps up this level of play. The front office will soon be forced to choose between paying up to retain a 27-year-old ascending guard or continuing to structure the roster around a veteran superstar whose on-off metrics suggest he's not always additive in a modern three-star alignment. That's not personal, that's roster math. The whisper networks around Tinseltown are already making noise about whether the Lakers envision their future with LeBron as a diminishing centerpiece or with Reeves as a core piece next to Dončić. Those are not easy decisions, and they're happening during a stretch of the season where every media soundbite gets magnified.
When you guys are together, when it's LeBron and you and Luka, and again, this is the 11th time this year, how's that change your game?
I don't know if it really changes much. I just go out there and, play the game the right way and try to support those two guys as much as I can,
This is where young players usually make a mistake. They treat a few good games as an entitlement to the keys to the kingdom. Austin hasn't done that. He's been patient, productive, and consistent when given space. But the danger for any good young player is letting the narrative about role shrinkage affect mindset and aggression. When Reeves sees his early efficiency collapse in the first half, it could lead to pressing, chasing shots, or hesitating to attack in rhythm. The solution for him is obvious and also terribly hard. Be the same player regardless of who's next to you on the court. But the system also has to play him the right way. If the coaching staff and the front office insist on a three-headed star experiment without clear role definitions and possession allocation, if LeBron, Luka, and Reeves all take the court and each expect center stage, the result will be feast or famine and the hell fans are tweeting about. The onus isn't just on Austin, it's organizational. Let's zoom into identity and legacy for a minute, because this story is more than box scores. It's about how teams and players define themselves. Austin Reeves has quietly built himself into a high IQ wing who can score, pass, and defend enough to be an ideal modern two-guard. He was doing it before Luka came, and he's done it in stretches without LeBron. That trajectory makes him extremely valuable, the kind of player franchises covet going forward. LeBron's greatness is indisputable, but greatness and fit are separate conversations. The Lakers are not choosing between being sentimental and being pragmatic. They're choosing whether to optimize for a playoff run this year around veteran star usage or to pivot and build a championship core around the younger, more sustainably productive pieces. That's a legacy question for the franchise, and for Austin, it's a career-defining moment.
Even when LeBron was out, he had 40. Think about all the buckets he gets.
Like a 45,
I'm not saying he's better than Kyrie
game.
at all.
Let's get tactical for a second. What can JJ Redick and the coaching staff do tomorrow that they aren't doing today? Start with clarity. Define who the primary pick-and-roll ball handler is in late clock situations, and rotate minutes so Reeves has sustained stretches as the primary creator against defensive units where he can exploit matchups. Use staggered minutes with LeBron where he remains impactful but not congestive. Think strategic rest and re-entry patterns that don't force Reeves to entirely cede playmaking. And financially, the front office needs a plan. Either the Lakers restructure to keep Reeves with a max caliber deal while managing LeBron's minutes and role-smithing, or they accept that this is the year to pivot and accelerate a rebuild around Doncic and Reeves while leveraging veteran star power sparingly. Those aren't easy options, but indecision is the worst. Fans hate watching the team tinker in public. Players hate it even more. So here's the debate you can't duck. Who makes the Lakers better right now? LeBron or Austin Reeves? If you answer LeBron because of history and marquee clutch moments, you're valuing ceiling and cultural gravity. If you answer Reeves because of per-possession efficiency, on-off numbers, and future upside, you're pricing immediate efficiency and roster sustainability. Both answers have huge trade-offs. My take? The team that wins consistently in the playoffs in 2026 is the one that builds around modern spacing, clear usage hierarchy, and players who elevate team net rating when they're on the floor. And right now, the numbers suggest Reeves is the player who does that most reliably in this specific Lakers roster. But basketball isn't only math, it's also narrative and chemistry, and the Lakers may prefer a short-term, star-driven approach even if the analytics warn against it. This is not just basketball drama, it's a franchise crossroads. So tell me, are you Team Reeves, value the per-possession math and build around youth, or Team LeBron, honor the legend and squeeze the last drops of star power? Don't be neutral, pick a side.